place on YouTube.
So it looks like I just go to my email. See what the next game is.
I saw him hung
Yeah.
up here and down. I'm like, what?
He thought about it. He thought about it. I gotta see these other kids are. Look at him. He's like,
He's all the way down there.
yeah. He's like, I didn't pick that up. That's one of the best power strips I've ever seen. I need that for Christmas that's outdoor. You guys have a good Christmas? Heck of a snowstorm. Jeez. Like mine, yeah.
Since I moved back.
I would say that's probably the most snow we've ever had.
Well, I was still in the Navy. I come back there. There was no snow in the morning, but by morning.
Yeah.
It didn't snow at all.
I remember that. That was probably early 2000s.
Yeah, I was going to say either late 90s or
I do remember that.
that's the last day. That was just a couple years before I moved there.
Where did you get stationed? Where were you?
Mostly in Virginia. 10 years.
Like Newport area?
Norfolk.
Norfolk? Yeah. What is it, Virginia Beach, Norfolk, Chesapeake? Yeah.
Yeah, I bought a house.
Years ago when I was in college, on a football game, we played a football team down there, apprentice school or something. It was down that way. They had a football team that they were college. I thought it was like some type of apprentice, naval apprentice school or something. I can't remember what it was, but it was a college. It was either that or a military academy. I can't remember. It wasn't VMI. No, it was down around. It was in Norfolk.
Okay. College.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's there anymore. That would have been the early 90s.
Well, I moved down here. I got stationed here for kind of
Hello? kids, he said, don't go to many. They went back. It'll make 6 minutes.
gentlemen, this year our season depends on the cooperation and support from everyone to follow the safety guidelines set by the Ohio Department of Health, the Governor's Office, and the Ohio High School Athletic Association. As we have seen, the opportunity to play sports can be taken away by the spread of COVID-19. We ask that everyone in attendance wear a facial covering, use proper hygiene, and keep yourself and your family or group 6 feet apart from other families and groups. Our ability to follow these guidelines will go a long way in determining how much of the season our student athletes will have. Thank you for your cooperation.
I'd like to see the team keep them.
ABC Sports presents high school basketball. Tonight's game is brought to you by Southeastern Med, Doan Ford, WB Green Insurance, Muskingum Valley Health Centers, West 40 Auto Sales, Edward Jones, Teresa Cowden, and Park National Bank.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to beautiful New Concord, Ohio, and tonight's presentation of boys high school basketball. We're coming to you live on Nash Icon, 107.9 in Cambridge, 98.5 in Zanesville, and you can also catch the game live streaming free of charge on YRP TV. You can find that on Facebook, and you can also find it on YouTube. For ABC Sports, my name is Tracy Lingefelder, and joining me this evening, always a pleasure to work alongside Mike Snively. And Mr. Snively, how's 2021 treating you so far this first week?
Well, first of all, what a fantastic introduction you're there. You know, the first time we worked together, I came across impressed, and you're setting the bar even higher this week. But, you know, you mentioned 2021. It's hard to say it. It's even harder to write it because, you know, me being a school teacher, I get in there and have to write the date, and I'm like, 21? It just doesn't make any sense. But, yeah, so far so good. Hope your guys are doing well, too.
No complaints. Let's, you know, get 2020 past us and hope that 21 brings better and brighter days ahead, right? So
I believe it is. I'm an optimist.
Hey, we are here at John Glenn High School this evening, and we have the Muskies hosting the Tornadoes from West Muskingum, and should be a good one tonight. The Muskies come in with a 1-4 overall record, 1-1 in league play. Interestingly enough, Mr. Snively, is the Muskies have only had one home game so far in that 1-4 record. So this is their second home game this evening, so it's got to be nice for them to get back to a familiar territory.
Absolutely, and you know, 2020, the year of COVID, has thrown a lot of change into many sports programs throughout not only the area or the state, but the entire country. Both teams tonight, first game since in 2021. John Glenn coming off of a loss to Crooksville on the 29th of December. West Dem already on game 9, but they have not played since 2 days before Christmas on December 23rd. So, you know, Coach Rinkus and West Dem may be a little rusty to, you know, to have that much time off with a bunch of 15, 16, 17, 18-year-olds. John Glenn a little more, you know, recently played, but this is only game 6 for them. So you might want to look at these two. We might want to look at these two factors as the night wears on.
And everybody, start of the 2020-21 season, everybody kind of in the same boat with limited practice time, and you add that to a John Glenn team that has lost not just 1 or 2 starters from last year, but John Glenn losing 8 seniors to graduation last year, all 5 of their starters, and 80% of their scoring from last year are gone. And then you couple that with a young, inexperienced team who hasn't really had a whole lot of time to get together, and you know, that could be just a recipe for a complete disaster. But credit to Coach Scheck and this young Muskies team to even have a, you know, 1 win so far in the young season. I'm sure they look to add to that tonight. But I actually had a chance to talk to Coach Eric Scheck earlier this afternoon on the phone. Can't really get in face-to-face with a lot of people because of COVID, but phone calls will work just fine. But so Coach Scheck is in his second year with the Muskies. He's a 13-year head coach veteran, though, other places, Newark Catholic being one of the teams that he has experience with. And he tells me today that he's really excited about tonight's game. The team is figuring out their roles so far. He's just looking for them to continue to progress and find their rhythm, find an identity. And he tells me one of the things as a coach you really want to hear is that his kids are coachable, they're listening, and they're eager to go out and perform night in and night out whenever they get a chance. When he looks across the court at West Em, he knows that these guys are going to come out and they're going to put on a pretty impressive defensive display against his Muskies. And so Coach Scheck is saying that they're going to really need to control the ball, and they're going to need to limit the amount of turnovers, which, you know, is a big issue for any team. You want to limit those, but when you have a team that's known for their defense, that's going to do a couple things. It's going to give them a lot of opportunities for points in transition, which obviously Coach X is going to say, we need to limit that. Control the ball, control the tempo, and keep the ball out of some of the notable athletes on the West End side. He mentioned a couple, but another area of concern that we discussed is free throws. So right now, this team, the Muskies, they're only shooting 46% on the season from the free throw line, and he's really hoping that gets up. Coach Check says they have good shooters, and they can make shots, and they just don't always seem to fall when they need them to in the games.
And they've lost a lot of close games this year, and you hit a couple free throws here and there, and instead of a 3-point loss, it could be a 3-point win. It's those little things like you talked about, and no basketball team wants to be in the 40% range for free throws. They want to be up above 70, near 80%, but that's a couple ways that John Glenn can gain some points. But you look at the matchup tonight, and knowing and watching Coach Sheck's teams the last year, and Coach Rinkus, knowing him and watching his teams over the last several years, they're a lot alike. They are outstanding offensive coaches. You're going to see a lot of good V cuts, good crisp passing on both teams, and defensively they're well schooled in their positioning. So there's a lot of similarities in tonight's game, and as you mentioned earlier, John Glenn only, January the 5th, only their second home game to this year. So that may have a little bit of effect on his Muskie squad tonight.
Yeah, we are about a minute away, probably from opening introductions in the national anthem. You're listening to boys basketball on Nash Icon and on YRP TV, Facebook, and YouTube. I'm Tracy Lingfelder alongside Mr. Mike Snively. The JV contest finishing just a few minutes ago, and the Muskies were victorious in that 48-21 over the Tornadoes. And I'm sure that Coach Sheck is wanting to carry on that winning tonight, this evening, as his Muskies face the Tornadoes from West Muskingum. And we are going to step away while they do the introductions, and we'll get that taken care of, and the national anthem, and then we'll be back for the opening tip-off right here on Nash Icon.
I was sitting in my car, and it wouldn't start. I lifted the hood, and the engine was falling apart. What would I do? My eyes filled with tears. Then on the radio, I heard of West 40 by Pay here, where for a little money down and a little each week, I could have a car, nice, shiny, and sleek. So I walked in the door, and I put the money down. Now I got a nice car that I can drive around. West 40 by Pay here will help rebuild your credit. The corner of Dewey and Route 40 in Cambridge, don't you forget it.
West 40 Auto Sales, corner of Route 40 and Dewey Avenue in Cambridge, is home of the guaranteed credit approval, with most loans approved while you wait. Go to their website to fill out an online loan application, west40autosales.com. You'll also find their weekly special listed there.
Be constipated with belly pain, straining, and bloating again and again.
No way. You could have a chronic condition called irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. Linzess, or linaclotide, is a prescription that treats IBS-C in adults. Linzess works differently than laxatives to help relieve belly pain and let you have more frequent and complete bowel movements. Individual results may vary. Do not give to children less than 6, and it should not be given to children 6 to less than 18. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor today. You may be able to save on Linzess and make fewer trips to the pharmacy. See if you're eligible to pay as little as $30 for 90 days. Visit linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS. Sponsored by AbbVie and Ironwood Pharmaceuticals.
Here at MVHC, we offer adult, dental, pediatric, women's, pharmacy, and transportation services, as well as behavioral health. We accept all patients. Make your appointment today if you're not feeling well.
And welcome welcome back to John Glenn High School in our presentation tonight of boys high school basketball on Nash Icon and on YRP TV, Facebook, and YouTube. We just had the national anthem, and now we have the opening starting lineup for both teams. Excuse me. Mr. Snyder, you have you go through the starting lineup for West Muskingum?
Sure, let's go with West Muskingum first. A 6-foot junior, number 2, Luke Pattison. A 6'3 senior, number 5, Kyle Riley. A 6'1 senior, number 10, Landon Walter. A 6-foot sophomore, number 11, Noah Ray. And rounding out the starting lineup for the Tornadoes, a 6'2 senior, number 14, Ethan Davis. Head coach, Jeff Rinkus.
And for the Muskies, we have a 5' 9" junior, number 2, Avery Palmer. A 5' 10" junior and Blade Barkley. Also starting for the Muskies, a 5' 11" senior, Braden Young. A 6' 2" sophomore, Nathan Walker. And starting another guard, a 5' 11" junior, Colin Campbell. And we are ready for the tip. The teams take the floor. And hopefully we're looking for a very good game and no turnovers and high percentage shots. And we'll just see how that works out for us, Mike.
Yeah, John Glenn, as you said earlier, a lot of inexperience, but they're starting to get more seasoned. Like I said, Game 7 for them. West Muskingum, a much, much improved program in this small school division in the MVL this year in a very good competitive small school division league. And right now, there's a lot of good teams in that small school side.
Nathan Walker is jumping for the Muskies, and Noah Ray for the Tornadoes, and West End controls, and that's Luke Pattison driving down and kicking the ball back out to the top, and West End will get their offense set up. West End in their road blue and yellow, and John Glenn, they're white with maroon trim, and ball knocked out of bounds by John Glenn, and West Muskingum will retain possession.
One thing about the MVL, 2 schools, exact blue and gold. West End, Philo, and Maysville, all the same color.
Different schemes, hopefully, a little bit.
Just a little bit.
At least they have the names on the front of their jerseys, so we know which school they are, right?
That's exactly right.
It's easy for us to tell tonight. And there's a shot up by Ethan Davis for West End. It's in and out, and rebound to the Muskies. And Avery Palmer will bring down a control for John Glenn. And he takes a long three-pointer and no good. Ball knocked around. West Muskingum will control it. And Landon Walter will bring the ball back across midcourt and set up the offense for the Tornadoes.
Palmer, the leading scorer for the Muskies, trying to get it going early.
Pass with the ball, kicks back up to Kyle Riley, who takes a shot. It's in and out, no good. Rebound, Avery Palmer for the Muskies.
His second quick rebound.
And a couple of the more notable names on each team we see already with shot attempts and being an impact early on in this game. No score yet, 6:42 in the first quarter. Three-point attempt by John Glenn. That was Braden Young. It was no good. West Muskingum with the rebound, and Luke Pattison with the ball for the Tornadoes. Kicks it out, and a long shot from Ethan Davis is an air ball. No good. Rebound to the Muskies, and again, that's Avery Palmer. Kicks the ball up to Colin Campbell on the left side top. Back to center to Nathan Walker. Drives right back to Palmer.
Palmer with 3 rebounds in a minute and a half. He's on pace for about 70 rebounds tonight.
He's all over the place, right? But you know, these young kids, they can move around and not even break a sweat.
Not even get tired.
I'm out of breath just watching the game so far. And traveling on the Muskies, Nathan Walker and John Glenn will turn the ball over. So far, some shot attempts. Nobody's made anything. We don't have a score yet with just over 6 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Listening to boys high school basketball on Nash Icon, 107.9 in Cambridge, 98.5 in Zanesville. And watching on YRP TV, West Muskingum now on offense. Take the ball out to the top, and Noah Ray, who gives off back to Luke Pattison on the right side. Back down to Ray, who spins and up. Shot is no good. Fought for on a rebound, and we're tied up. And see what the call is going to be, a jump ball. And looks like the arrow is going to favor the Muskies.
Right now there's a lid on the rim for both teams. But West End comes in scoring about 60 a game, and John Glenn comes in scoring about 47 a game. John Glenn, however, only giving up under 50 a game, and West End giving up 52 a game.
Coach Sheck tell me that his Muskies are shooting about 42% from the field, so I'm sure he'd like to see that get up, but so far, no good. Long three-pointer from Blade Barkley for the Muskies is no good, and rebound back to the Tornadoes. They're driving, and nice long outlet pass to Ethan Davis, who kicked it in, and 2 points for West End. They take the lead with 5:10 to go, lead 2-0 in the first quarter.
Really good ball movement there by the Tornadoes to get the wide open layup. Tornadoes playing man-to-man.
And the Muskies are on the board, and I did not see who scored.
I believe that's Braden Young.
Braden Young with 2 points, a nice little layup. And West End back on offense. Good defense from both teams so far. A nice layup and a drive, and that is number 14, Ethan Davis.
Davis used his body well there to protect the ball with the right-handed layup from the left side.
4-2 West End lead over John Glenn with 4:20 left to go in the first quarter. A long three-point shot is good. That's Nathan Walker, 6'2" sophomore. He knocks down a three-pointer, and that gives the Muskies the lead, 5-4 with 4:10 to go in the opening quarter.
Both teams started off 0 for 7. Now they are 4 for their last 4.
Just took a little bit of heating up. And Palmer passed down to Ray, who drives, spins, and misses the layup, gets his own rebound, and puts the ball back in. 2 points for Mr. Ray there. And West Muskingum retakes the lead. Palmer with the ball for the Muskies.
Ray's a good-sized kid, uses his body well, has good footwork for a big man.
He did. He likes that spin move. And John Glenn drives baseline, and there's a foul, and the shot is good. And that looks like, is that number?
No, they're gonna not count the basket. They're gonna call the offensive foul on Barkley.
He drove, had a good drive, and guess West End got their feet set. Was still able to get the shot in, no good. And West End still leads 6-5 with 3:35 to go in the first quarter. And they have the ball. Setting up their offense is number 5, Kyle Riley. He's at the top and driving right. Hands off to Andre Crockwell. Ball makes its way back over to Luke Patterson on the left side of the court. Down baseline to Crockwell. He gives off, and West End just looking for a good shot right now at this point.
And as always, they take very good care of the ball. Nice pass there.
Nice pass, and a shot up by Ethan Davis is no good. That was Jack Porter who had a nice inlet pass down there to Davis, but the shot was no good. John Glenn with the rebound. Avery Palmer with the ball back up for the Muskies.
And John Glenn going with the high post. Number 5, Tough Zemba in there setting some screens.
That looks like Bexley Woodard with the missed shot for John Glenn. West End with the rebound and controlling back on their offense again. Jack Porter with the ball on the left side of the court. He drives to the center. Passes off over to number 15. That's Andre Crockwell. We have a whistle and a foul away from the ball.
I love watching the teams use the high post. That possession, Ethan Davis in the high post for the Tornadoes set 4 screens. Back in the old Bobby Knight days at Indiana, you could always pick out a guy that would set 5 or 6 screens every possession. And that time, that was Ethan Davis for the Tornadoes.
It's a 6-5 West End lead over John Glenn. 2 minutes and 22 seconds to go in the first quarter. John Glenn with the ball, driving back up is Avery Palmer for the Muskies. And get their offense set up. And Tough Zemba has checked in for John Glenn. Sets a pick for Palmer. He passes off right side, and that's a long three-pointer for Bexley Woodard. No good. West Muskingum fights for the ball, and John Glenn back with it. And back on offense. Woodard with the ball, baseline right side. And has a nice little pass in. Pass in to Skylar Bates, who steps on the line, and it's a turnover for the Muskies.
And the idea was right there. Just didn't have enough room along the baseline there to get a good entry pass.
I do like seeing all the ball movement, all the energy on the court from both teams so far. It's we kind of expected a low-scoring game just based on our pregame information that we had.
Yeah, and both teams will play hard.
And they certainly are. They're showing that right now. And number 15, West Muskingum, that's Andre Crockwell. He drives the lane, misses the layup, so it's another miss for West End, and rebound to the Muskies. We are 1:25 left to go in the first quarter. Score still 6-5. West End over the Muskies. And is that Ray driving? Not Ray driving the lane. That was Tough Zemba.
They're going to get him with an offensive foul. John Glenn's second offensive foul this quarter.
Called with the charges. Zemba, who, again, these guys are not afraid to drive the lane. And just West End doing a good job getting their feet set and getting back on defense.
2 team fouls on John Glenn, both offensive fouls. 1 team foul on the Tornadoes so far.
West End with the ball and full court press.
Little diamond trap here by the Muskies.
Oh, so it almost worked with like a foul.
They're going to Coach Rinkus got a quick timeout there. Smart move because John Glenn was about to take that ball away and get 2 easy points.
That was a nice setup on a trap, and yeah, you're right. They was wrestling the ball away and just about come with it before the timeout. In fact, I thought the whistle was when I saw the referee point. I thought he was calling a foul. But good defense by the Muskies.
And Coach Scheck found something he likes down here, picking up the pressure, trapping full court, and I'd be surprised if he went away from that here because it looks like the Tornadoes have been struggling a little bit with that full court.
We're going to have to get the clock fixed. The clock continued to run during the timeout, saying that we are almost at the end of the first quarter.
No, it's just counting down from the 60 seconds.
So I missed that.
30 seconds, I should say. That was a 30-second timeout. What they'll do on the clock is they'll go from 30 down, or if it's a full timeout, they'll go from 60 down.
That's live and learn, right?
That's right.
I like the magical reset back to a minute to go, and West End
they broke the pressure quite easily.
And they also commit the turnover. John Glenn with the ball back, and 1:07 left, 6-5 West Muskingum lead.
West End's going to return the favor and run a diamond trap at them.
And that's Colin Campbell who brings the ball up for the Muskies and spins, drives, and he has 2 points for John Glenn.
Campbell may have gotten away with a travel against a very good defense right there. But now we're going to get a 5-second call on West End. The game has definitely sped up quite a bit. Both teams now have 4 turnovers here with 51 seconds to go in the first quarter.
And Avery Palmer will check back in for the Muskies. We're 51 seconds left in the first quarter. 7-6 John Glenn lead, and they have the ball again. And inbound to Palmer. Sets up the offense for John Glenn. And over to Campbell. Down over to Chris Toombs, who sets the ball back up to the top. And that's Nathan Walker, drives right. Hands off to Woodard. And he kicks it back out. And we are 30 seconds away. And the ball stripped West End with the steal. And set up offense. With 25 seconds to go. And that is Noah Ray. Noah hammered at another charge call.
He took a power step and was called for the offensive foul. Probably a good call over there. But the tempo of the game's definitely picked up with both teams pressing. Neither team particularly handling either team's press very well right now.
That's a 7-6 John Glenn lead. 23.2 seconds to go in the first quarter. And another whistle on the floor as John Glenn inbounds the ball to Palmer.
Palmer did a nice job of splitting the trap, and you don't see that a lot in high school, but splitting that trap, if you're able to master that technique of splitting a trap, pretty soon you got a 5-on-3 situation, and your chances of scoring are a lot more likely.
That was Jack Porter for West End called with a foul there. So 15 seconds to go, 7-6 John Glenn lead. Palmer brings the ball back up, and he's not in a rush right now at this point.
This will be a one-shot deal for to end the quarter for the Little Muskies.
He drives off left, pick, drives the lane.
Excellent pass.
Nice look to Colin Campbell, and that's 2 more points from Mr. Campbell. Last heave attempt at the buzzer, and no good. And John Glenn extends their lead to 3, a 9-6 first quarter lead for the Muskies over the Tornadoes. You're listening to high school basketball on Nash Icon. We will step away and be back with the second quarter right after this.
Your home and your car are likely your two biggest investments. Protecting them from unexpected damage is a prime concern to WB Green Insurance. They are proud to represent Westfield Insurance, a financial service organization that provides insurance products for your home, auto, and business. Sharing knowledge, building trust is Westfield Insurance's pledge to their customers, along with personalized claim service that's fast and friendly. To learn how Westfield can help with your insurance needs, talk to WB Green Insurance today.
I'm Peg. I'm a senior trust officer, but also a gardener and listener.
At Park National Bank, we're more than our job titles, and you're more than an account number. You get personal attention and direct access to a caring, compassionate banker who respects and responds to your needs and goals. Find Peg or a banker near you at parknationalbank.com. Park National Bank, where you mean more. Investments are not FDIC insured, not bank guaranteed, and may lose value. parknationalbank.com.
And welcome back to John Glenn High School in New Concord, Ohio for tonight's presentation of boys high school basketball on Nash Icon 107.9 in Cambridge, 98.5 in Zanesville. And we are live streaming free on YRP TV. You can catch that on YouTube and Facebook. The John Glenn Muskies lead West End Tornadoes 9-6. We have just started the second quarter here at John Glenn High School. West End with the ball, and a long three-point shot. That was Kyle Riley in and out, and John Glenn with the rebound, and they are driving.
Nice rebound there by Nathan Walker. Went up high, got it down with two hands, got a good outlet pass. Muskies attacking on offense.
Nathan Walker takes the ball over to the right, and it's Palmer who drives. 15-footer is in. Good, that's 4 points tonight for Mr. Palmer.
Dribbles 2 steps left, hit the jump shot.
And it's an 11-6 lead for the Muskies now, and a long three-pointer for West End by Landon Walter is no good. The long outlet pass is knocked away by West End and knocked out of bounds, and John Glenn will retain possession.
Fantastic hustle there by number 2, Luke Pattison for the Tornadoes. And getting on the floor.
Coach Check understanding that he was going to face a high-pressure defense, and he certainly was not wrong, but John Glenn adding in a little high-pressure defense of their own tonight, Snively.
Absolutely. Two of the better coaches in the area. Always fun to watch these two teams play.
Braden Young for the Muskies, a long three-pointer from the baseline, no good. Rebound to West End, and a drive the lane. It's number 5, Kyle Riley. He is good for 2, 11-8 lead now for the Muskies over West End with 6:43 left to go in the first quarter. John Glenn with the ball, facing a little bit of a full-court press. Although West End not too crazy with that right there.
West End needed that basket badly. They were going through a little bit of a drought.
And nobody really shooting the lights out so far yet, but John Glenn seemed to be heating up a little bit. And there's a nice drive the lane from Colin Campbell for the Muskies. He spins and he puts in a nice layup and adds to the lead for the Muskies, 13-8 with 6:10 to go in the second quarter.
Campbell using those feet and long legs wisely on that spin move, making up some ground.
West End setting up. Campbell passes off top to Walter, who kicks it back over to Campbell. Back over to the left side, and that's Riley who's driving. He has a little 14-footer in and out, no good. He knocks the ball away, and like the foul's going to be called on Mr. Walter there.
Yeah, and I think Riley may have forced that just a hair and then made a bad decision to go in there and go over the top of the John Glenn defender.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to come out and take a break. Coach Rinkus going to have a little word with him. Positive encouragement.
And John Glenn will inbound, 5:50 to go. They lead West Muskingum 13-8. Muskies with the ball again. And pass over to Braden Young. Palmer, and that is Nathan Walker with a three-point attempt, no good. Rebound West End. Back on offense, and driving is Luke Pattison. Kicks the ball off to the left side. Three-pointer from Jacob Allen is no good. Rebound to the Muskies. Palmer with the ball for John Glenn, and he's coming back up. He's driving the lane. 13-footer is off the back of the iron, no good. West End with the rebound. 13-8 is your score. 5 minutes, 12 seconds to go in the second quarter. You're listening to boys high school basketball on Nash Icon and live streaming on YRP TV. West Muskingum with the ball. And John Glenn putting on a good defensive show here. A nice little layup missed by Ethan Davis for West End. Rebound John Glenn, Palmer drives, kicks the ball out, baseline, and driving himself. In and out was number 33, Colin Campbell. Rebound again to West End. And there's another charge called, this time on Jacob Allen for the Tornadoes. And Snyder looks like he just kind of took that directional step to the right into the defender for John Glenn. And referee standing right there, and that was a pretty easy call.
Yeah, correct call. It's fourth offensive foul for both teams tonight. So if you're a defender on either team tonight, I would be standing in there and taking one because the referees have that tendency to call it. So far, no blocking calls, all charges.
That's right. And a whistle on the court.
Looks like Coach Scheck needed a quick timeout. He almost had a 5-second call go against his squad, and wisely did get that 30-second timeout in.
And this time, see, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I see the clock countdown now, and I'm not going to panic.
Well, I will say this, Tracy, to your defense, that never happened back in our day. You know, the referees just counted to themselves 30 seconds. We never even had 30-second timeouts. Every timeout was full timeout. Now they have 30-second timeouts, 60-second timeouts.
See, I'm pretty sure when we were in school, they didn't even invent 30 yet.
They didn't have a clock.
We didn't have that many days.
No, we had the wind-up clock.
That's right. If you watched Flintstones before. 4:45 left to go in the first half. You're listening to Boys High School basketball on Nash Icon. We are live at John Glenn High School for the Muskies and the Tornadoes of West Muskingum. The Muskies with a 13-8 lead, and the ball here with 4:40 to go in the second quarter.
You know, if you're a spectator, Tracy, enjoy the flow of this game. It has a very good flow to it. There's some excitement. Both teams talking defensively. There's a lot of enthusiasm on both benches. I really enjoy watching this one so far.
Good defense from West End and Jack Porter on Palmer, who kicks the ball out. He drives, kicks it out to Skylar Bates. That's number 20, a 5'9" senior, and his three-pointer good.
Penetrating pitch. Bates knocks down the wide-open Jay.
And it's a 16-8 lead now for the Muskies with 4 minutes to go in the second quarter. West End with the ball, and John Glenn really putting on some pressure for defense. The ball knocked away temporarily, but West Muskingum able to control it. And there's a long baseline three-pointer attempt, no good by Patterson. It's an air ball, and John Glenn with the rebound. Palmer finds a wide open Skylar Bates down across court, and he was looking to dish it off, and the ball was knocked out of bounds by West End. And John Glenn will retain possession. 3:43 to go, 16-8 lead for the Muskies over the West Muskingum.
Both teams getting good looks, just not everything going in right now, but for the most part, pretty good looks. Not a lot of forces on either side offensively.
That's right. Colin Campbell with the ball for the Muskies. He brings it back up to the top. Dishes down off to the left side to Tough Zimba, who will dribble back up and hand over to Caden Walls, back to Tough Zimba, and has his pass knocked away by Riley for West End, and he takes it to full length and misses the layup, but rebound and put back by number 11 Noah Ray for the Tornadoes, and they cut into the John Glenn lead and now trail 16-10 with 3 minutes and 3 seconds to go in the second quarter.
Good hustle there by Ray, the sophomore, hustling down the big man, getting the offensive rebound, and putting it up for two.
That's right. And also West Muskingum anticipating a bounce pass and just being able to get their hands stuck in there to get the turnover and the transition point that Coach Scheck talked about wanting to avoid in the pregame.
And West Muskingum starting to play the passing lanes here a little tighter.
Skylar Bates turns and drives baseline. His shot blocked.
Great help side defense there by Jack Porter.
And West Muskingum has their pass knocked away by, that'd be number 25, and that's Caden Walls. It's a different number. Fortunately, Coach was informing us that earlier. There's a number change on the roster.
So. And we appreciate getting that info before the game. Walker and Barkley checking in for the Little Muskies.
And West Muskingum with the ball. And Jack Porter gets the offense set up, passes off to the right to Andre Crockwell. And Muskies playing good defense, really tight defense right now. We are 2 minutes and 12 seconds to go in the second quarter. And Kyle Riley with the ball. Shot up and in. And that's 4 points for him.
Degree of difficulty, tough there.
That's right, 16-12 lead for the Muskies with 2 minutes to go in the first half. Nathan Walker passes down, and driving the lane is number 3, Blade Barkley.
And guess what? An offensive foul.
Another charge call. So
the fifth one this half. Sometimes you might see 2-3 charges in the entire game. We've saw 5 here, and we've seen 5 here, and we still got almost 2 minutes to go here in the second quarter.
Yeah, you kind of sometimes wonder, is that an official attempt to make these guys aware of driving lane and not just run somebody over? 1:45 to go in the second quarter. 16-12, John Glenn lead over West Muskingum. West Muskingum with the ball, and that's number 15, Andre Crockwell driving.
And another offensive foul. And that one, it looked like Crockwell kind of got floating, kind of lost his, got in no man's land a little bit, and John Glenn defender was planted there in a nice call there by the officials.
And you know, that has a lot to say about the quickness that's on the court for both teams if they're able to really get their feet set, and which causes these charging.
Yeah, positioning. Yeah, great positioning for both teams, and that surprises me. Neither one of these coaches, or both of these coaches, that is kind of a staple. Good fundamental defense.
Colin Campbell with a turnaround jumper, no good, in and out. Rebound, Braden Young for the Muskies, and the ball knocked away by West Muskingum. John Glenn will retain possession. We are at 1:18 to go in the second quarter. The Muskies with a 16-12 lead over West Muskingum.
John Glenn, first offensive.
There's a whistle right there as Andre Crockwell stopped his drive, and Braden Young couldn't put the brakes on soon enough and just ran up the backside. So
it's kind of looked like me driving on Christmas Eve night with bald tires, just couldn't stop.
A little bit of snow on the ground, you're saying?
Yeah. Now the West Muskingum Tornadoes have 16 fouls, so next time they foul, the Muskies will go to the line for a 1-on-1, and John Glenn with 14 fouls.
Crockwell will inbound for the Tornadoes with 1:02 to go. John Glenn leading 16-12 over West End. And that's Patterson with the ball, who hands back to Crockwell. And West End will set up the offense that Crockwell brings. And then he drives. 15-foot floater is no good. Bouncing around, but won't fall for Mr. Crockwell. John Glenn with the rebound. Palmer with the ball. And he hands off over to Braden Young, right side. He dishes to Bates, and down baseline to Palmer. Back up top to Walker. Brings the ball left and sets up over to Colin Campbell, who's baseline and has the ball knocked away. It's another turnover from John Glenn, and West End is running. And that is Kyle Riley with the ball. 22 seconds to go in the second quarter. West End probably going to hold for one shot.
I would think so. Possession arrow going toward. No, they shoot it. Well, he got a shot.
Luke Patterson driving the lane and getting 2 more. And 5 to go. And John Glenn driving the lane, and that's a great layup drive. Skylar Bates takes the ball the distance, gets a layup, and we are done with the first half. And
that's a big layup because John Glenn scores with basically no time left in the second half and then gets the ball to start the second half. So
that's right.
Going to get 2 possessions in a row.
So we've reached the end of one half of play here at John Glenn High School. The Muskies lead the Tornadoes 18-14. We will step away and add up some numbers, and we'll be back here at John Glenn High School for the second half, first half stats, and the second half, right after this quick message.
Your 401k is likely one of your most important assets, but it's only one part of a comprehensive retirement strategy. Edward Jones can help you understand how your retirement assets fit into your entire retirement picture so you can work toward meeting your unique retirement goals. Contact me, Teresa Cowden, your Edward Jones financial advisor on Main Street in New Concord. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, member SIPC.
I'm not buying till I check Down Ford.
Most of us are faced with uncertainty every day. Your job, your finances, sporting events, schooling for your children, and so much more. With so much uncertainty surrounding you, there's one auto dealership that you can be certain about, and that's Doan Ford. You can be certain that you'll always get a great deal and the best service afterwards. In business for nearly 60 years has given Doan Ford the reputation of being a strong, reliable dealership. Be certain. Choose Doan Ford. Online at DoanFord.com.
From the Ohio News Network, this is the Ohio Education Association Tonight in High School Hoops. Now here's your host, Scott Leo.
Tim Street is the OHSAA's Senior Director of Communications. Coming up, he'll talk about a new partnership between the OHSAA and Max Preps involving stats, schedules, and more. That's next here on the Ohio News Network.
I'm Scott Demaro, President of the Ohio Education Association. OEA is proud to sponsor tonight's game on behalf of our more than 120,000 members. We believe in the power of high school sports and shaping young athletes' lives. And we know it will take all of us working together to keep our athletes safe on and off the court. It's critical that we all wear our masks, wash our hands, and maintain social distancing to help keep schools open and to keep all students, educators, and community members healthy this season.
The 2021 Honda ATV lineup is here to prove it's possible to work smarter and harder. With the power to get the job done, the technology to make it easier, and tried and tested quality to keep you moving forward, the only thing left to add is you. Then you'll understand how life is better on a Honda. Honda recommends ATVs for riders 16 years and older and recommends that all ATV riders take a training course.
This is ONN.
Welcome back to Tonight in High School Hoops on the Ohio News Network. I'm Scott Leo. Pleased now to be joined by Tim Street, Senior Director of Communications with the OHSAA since 2008. And Tim, folks will be excited to learn about this new partnership between the OHSAA and Max Preps. Tell us a little bit about what that entails.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks, Scott, for having me on. And yeah, a lot of people will already be pretty familiar with Max Preps. It's been around for quite a while. And what we have done this past fall is sign an agreement with Max Preps that they are now the official source for stats and schedules for the OHSAA. And a lot of people have gone there already looking for, could be stats or even rosters, schedules, and now we have that official partnership where we are encouraging our schools to have someone at the school that is designated to be that person that updates and uploads stats, the varsity publicity roster, and that's really helpful for the media too, because media obviously is broadcasting the varsity games, and that's the roster they need. So we're really excited about it, and we're just scratching the surface what all we can do with Max Preps.
For someone in my shoes who broadcasts a lot of events and is always looking for information beyond a team's roster, we hope that there's someone at the school that provides that. It's not like college very often where you have a sports information director, but it seems like most schools do have sort of a point person that's keeping track of stats and can give you the info you need.
Yeah, a lot of schools do already have that person, and some of our bigger school districts do have an SID, and whenever I run across one of those for one of our state tournaments, I just always wish, I wish every school district had an SID like colleges do. But the interesting thing with Max Preps, too, is that they've already had an official agreement in partnership with our Volleyball Coaches Association for the past, maybe 6 or 7 years. When I'm collecting stats for our volleyball state tournament teams, most of those teams just send me their link to Max Preps. And so I think what you're going to see is more of that, especially on the basketball side. That is a pretty stat-heavy sport to begin with. Same thing with baseball and softball. A lot of the state tournament teams send me their link to their Max Prep stats. It's easy to do, and you're right that a lot of schools can designate someone to be that person that uploads that information.
Max Preps has been around for a while. since 2002 to be exact. So what led to this agreement between the OHSAA and Max Preps this year?
Yeah, we've been talking to Max Preps for several years, and I think that the eventual tipping point was with some of our newer sports, lacrosse being a big one, also baseball and softball looking for some more. A lot of it is rankings, but also your statewide leaders. But with lacrosse coming on, we just don't right now have the infrastructure to bring on a stat portal on our website where schools can update that kind of content. And Max Preps, it's like, why reinvent the wheel? Max Preps can already do that. So our committee's been asking for that for a long time, and it kind of, all those things kind of came together, and the solution was right there, so we finally made the decision to let's go ahead and do this.
That's Tim Streed, Senior Director of Communications with the OHSAA, joining us here on the Ohio News Network.
Here at MVHC, we offer adult, dental, pediatric, women's, pharmacy, and transportation services, as well as behavioral health. We accept all patients. Make your appointment today if you're not feeling well.
You're listening to high school basketball on 107.9, 98.5 Nash Icon, WILE Cambridge.
And welcome back to John Glenn High School, beautiful New Concord, Ohio, on this nice January evening. You're listening to boys high school basketball live on Nash Icon, 107.9 in Cambridge, 98.5 in Zanesville. And you can also live stream tonight's game free of charge on YRP TV, and you can catch that on YouTube or, of course, Snively, nowadays on social media on Facebook. So we have reached the first half. John Glenn leading West Muskingum 18-14. So it was a low-scoring game, kind of like we expected. Very good defensive teams on both sides of the court. And we'll go over some scoring. Before we get to that, we do want to pass along one halftime score of interest in the area. And Philo leading Morgan at the half, 31-29, Snively, and that's a pretty interesting look right now.
Yeah, Philo 0-4 right now, leading the 7-1 Morgan Raiders. So
with a whole other half to play, but just to see that score, probably something that catch people's eyes.
Yeah, hey, it's basketball. Anything can happen.
That's right. Before we get into the stats and start the second half, would also like to take this time to thank our sponsors for helping us bring the game to you tonight, both on Nash Icon and on YRP TV. And also, we would be so remiss, Snively, if we didn't thank Jeff Reed back in the studios for keeping us on the air, as well as Cam and Caitlin Summers here, who's doing all the behind-the-scenes work, bringing the video for YRP TV to you. So
absolutely.
Thanks to all you guys, and you're doing a great job, as always. We wouldn't expect anything less.
And two other thank yous, too. P.J. Woods, the athletic director at West Muskingum, and Michael Dunlap, the athletic director here at John Glenn. Always fantastic to work with, always prepared, and just a big thank you to those two as well.
Yes, sir. They make life easy for guys like us, don't they?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Taking a look at some individual scoring, first for the visiting West Muskingum Tornadoes. They are being led by three different teammates with 4 points each, and that is number 2, Luke Pattison, who has 4 points, as does Kyle Riley, as does number 11, Noah Ray, and then coming in with 2 points is number 14, Ethan Davis, and that rounds out the scoring, the 14 points for the Tornadoes in the first half. Taking a look over at the Muskie scoring, they are led by number 33, Colin Campbell, who finishes the first half with 6 points, and adding to that, number 20, Skylar Bates, he has 5. Number 2, Avery Palmer, comes in with 4 points in the first half. And then rounding out the scoring for the Muskies, number 24, Nathan Walker, finishes the first half with 3 points. And Snively, we're looking at some low field goal percentages, which is pretty much right on par for at least for the Muskies. And we talked about off air about some other interesting stats, and I'll let you go over all of the team stats.
Okay, in the shooting department, team shooting, John Glenn was 8 of 19 for 42%. West Muskingum was 7 of 22 for 32% from the field. Rebounds, John Glenn had a 13-11 advantage. Only 3 offensive rebounds in the entire first half, so good boxing out by both teams, good defensive positioning by both teams. John Glenn had 1 offensive rebound, West Muskingum had 2 offensive rebounds. In the turnover department, John Glenn, and you don't want to lead that department, John Glenn had 9, and West Muskingum had 7. Of the 16 total turnovers, 6 were offensive fouls. So we only had 10 fouls in the first half. 6 were offensive fouls. And probably the statistic of the night, neither team shot a free throw. And I haven't seen that in a while where neither team has shot a free throw. So, but a pretty good, even, enjoyable, spectator-friendly game so far. I've enjoyed watching this one.
It is, and we kind of expected a low-scoring game. Both teams averaging a little under 60 points anyway, so we didn't expect it to be a 3-digit score. Maybe not starting as kind of as cold shooting as the teams had, but they kind of picked it up, and they're really off and running. Both of them playing aggressive on both sides of the ball. Good offense, good defense. They're looking for good shots from their teammates, and so far, pretty clean played ball game.
Yeah, good game, and looking forward to this second half here, Tracy.
Which is now underway, and John Glenn with the ball on offense, and getting things set up is number 24, Nathan Walker.
Open post starting out with John Glenn looking for any cuts they can get through the lane.
And that's Braden Young with a long three-pointer, and it is good. To start off with a three-pointer and extending the lead 21-14, 7 minutes, 30 seconds to go in the third period. And West Muskingum with the ball now. And they're going to be looking for answers pretty soon, trying to cut into that John Glenn lead, Snively.
Yes, open post here, too, by West Muskingum, who sometimes will run that Princeton-style offense and get some backdoor cuts like they did right there.
And Riley drives baseline, dishes off to Ethan Davis. And guess what we have on the floor? Another charge.
And I thought for a second the officials were going to say and one, and he
held
pointed the other way. He held back for a second on that, but another turnover for the West End Muskies via the offensive foul.
That was a nice little dish off right to as Ethan Davis was driving, and John Glenn again just getting set, getting in good position, and the inbound pass nearly picked off by West End, but John Glenn keeps it, and Palmer with the ball on the left side for the Muskies, and he's looking to pass off, gets the ball to Nathan Walker.
And I believe I called West End the Muskies, so my first mistake of the night.
That's all right. Palmer drives and puts up a floater, and he adds to his scoring tonight and increases the Muskies' lead. Little Muskies, 23-14, 6:45 to go in the third quarter. West Muskingum with the ball, and Patterson gives off to Ray up top, who goes right, back to the left. And he hands off to Kyle Riley, looking to drive. This is off the baseline to Patterson, who has his pass over to Davis, is temporarily blocked away, and Davis drives the lane, kicks back out, and Kyle Riley misses a three-pointer. Gets his rebound, but then the ball's knocked away, and John Glenn with it, and off and running is number 23, Braden Young for John Glenn. He drives the lane.
And we're going to see free throws.
It was a blocking foul, Snively.
We're going to see free throws for the first time tonight.
Layup was no good, so Braden Young, a 5'11" senior, will go to the line for the first attempt this evening. And interesting to see with the Muskies, I'm talking to Coach Sheck, shooting subpar on from the free throw line, and right on cue, Braden Young misses the first attempt.
And you know, a lot of it's mental. Just got to get up there and knock them down.
Then, like Coach Sheck was saying, the team is they're not a poor shooting team. It's just sometimes, in the games, it just the balls just don't fall sometimes. Shots just don't fall. Hey, and there's the second attempt is up and good for Young. And that's his 4th point on the night. And they increase the Muskies' lead over West End. We have 6:08 left to go in the third quarter. West Muskingum with the ball, Noah Ray. Dishes off. That is Ethan Davis, and brings the ball back up to the top. And pass nearly intercepted again by Kyle Riley, who drives. He is called for the charge. Takes a 10-foot floater and knocks down number 3, Blade Barkley, and called for the charge again, so it's another turnover. Ball back to the Muskies.
I want to start keeping track of offensive fouls. That's number 8. We might be... Cam, we're going to have to get Cam to look up some most offensive fouls in a game.
That's
record.
Avery Palmer was driving the lane, had the ball knocked away, out of bounds. And we are 5:47 to go in the third quarter. A 10-point John Glenn lead over West Muskingum. 24-14. You're listening to Boys High School basketball on Nash Icon and watching live on YRP TV. Inbound pass and a long three-point attempt by Nathan Walker is no good for the Muskies. And West End with the rebound, and that's number 2, Luke Patterson. It looks like a long two-pointer. In and out for West End, and rebound to the Muskies. Avery Palmer brings the ball back up for John Glenn. 5 minutes, 25 seconds to go in the third quarter. 24-14 point lead. Three-pointer in and out by Blade Barkley. No good, and we have a whistle on the floor.
Good positioning there by sophomore Noah Ray. I'm impressed with the youngsters' basketball ability so far tonight. Right now, West M needs a basket badly.
They do. They need to stop the bleed. Foul on John Glenn was Braden Young on that one, and West End with the ball. And John Glenn playing a tight man-to-man defense. And Andre Crockwell drives for West Muskingum. And dare I say, we have a blocking foul on John Glenn.
Yeah, and it looks like Crockwell, who's got a very nice a game, got some get-up in his game, will go to the line shooting 2.
So a tale of two halves right now with no free throw attempts in the first half, and we still have 5 minutes, 10 seconds to go in the third quarter, and we've had our second set.
Yeah, West M's first 2 free throws of the night. Interesting. Crockwell dribbles with his left hand and then shoots. You can almost, of course, those of you watching it, notice he dribbles way to the left on his free throws and then brings it over to his right hand.
First attempt is no good, and Crockwell will shoot a second. Have some substitutions in for both teams. Crockwell gets set, left-hand dribble, shot up, and no good. Rebound to the Muskies. Still a 10-point lead with 5:05 to go in the third quarter. And Avery Palmer with the ball kicks out over to Bates for the Muskies. He goes baseline, and that looks like that is number 33, Colin Campbell, with a long three-pointer. No good. Rebound to West Muskingum. And Andre Crockwell driving and kicks the ball out. Intended receiver, we're getting ready for a national championship. Intended receiver for West End was Luke Patterson. Kyle Riley, and the ball knocked away, and can't handle the pass, and John Glenn will take the ball off the turnover. One thing that I did notice so far is that there's been very few transition points from West End. John Glenn doing a really good job, and I know it's something that Coach Sheck was wanting to focus on for the Muskies tonight.
In both teams, neither team has a lot of transition points because there's not been a whole lot of unforced turnovers that lead to layups.
JG with the ball.
Perfect
nice
pass.
Dish pass down and a good layup look. That is number 20, Skylar Bates, who adds his 7th point tonight. Good. Campbell found him driving the lane and had a nice bounce pass and wide open layup for Mr. Bates. And we have a timeout on the floor. We will step away for 30 seconds and come back for more. We are under a minute to go, and we'll be back right after this.
Not disappear just because COVID is here. Whether you are experiencing pain in your knee, tingling in your fingers, or a sore back, Superior Med Orthopedics is here for you. Superior Med Orthopedics patients' health and safety is their top priority, and they currently offer telehealth visits for your initial appointment. Take comfort in knowing when you come to Superior Med Orthopedics facility, they are following all protocols to ensure you remain safe. Find out all their team offers by visiting seormc.org today.
And welcome back to New Concord, Ohio. We are at John Glenn High School for boys high school basketball. You're listening to live on Nash Icon. It's 107.9 in Cambridge, 98.5 in Zanesville, and you're watching live stream free of charge on YRP TV. That can be found on YouTube and Facebook as well. 4 minutes, 26 seconds to go. A 12-point John Glenn lead over West Muskingum, 26-14. West M about to inbound the ball.
West M in a big drought right now, scoring drought, and a lot of this has to do with the defense that the Muskies are playing, forcing poor shots and poor passes by the Tornadoes.
And a very effective game plan. And speaking of that, is another turnover, and Palmer with the turnover, and then he has it knocked away, but retains possession. And
that's the 5th turnover this quarter by West Muskingum.
Walker with the ball up at the top for John Glenn, who kicks it off over to Bates, who drives baseline, puts up a off the glass layup and adds 2 more, and he leads all scorers on the Muskies with 9.
I was going to say, Skylar Bates has been a fantastic spark plug for this John Glenn basketball team tonight. Right now, Muskies quietly up 14.
Quietly pulling away, putting in a very effective game plan, and now not only playing tough defense, but executing good on the offensive side of the ball as well.
Yeah, their spacing's well, and the right people at the right time are making the moves.
And Newsom receives the inbound pass and is able to get past the full court pressure, and then turns and throws the ball away. Another turnover for West End, which is not something they want to see right now. They, like you said earlier, Snyder, they really need to put some points on the board right now.
West End uncharacteristically turning the ball over right now. Coach Rinkus can only just put his arms up in the air and wonder what the heck's going on.
And Avery Palmer with the ball for John Glenn. Hands off over to Bates, back up top to Walker. And he dishes down to Palmer, and he's off the glass with 2 points of his own.
John Glenn got the backdoor game running well right now. 3 straight makes for the Little Muskies.
And Palmer just escaped from his defender and was able to get open, and nice pass and good look. And Porter's pass attempt knocked away. That by Nathan Walker, and West End will retain possession. 3 minutes, 12 seconds to go, 30-14. John Glenn leading West End.
Campbell and Zembath checking in for the home team.
Gage Newsom with the ball for West End, and his pass attempt is stolen, and that's Woodard drives and whistle on the floor. Bexley Woodard is a 6-foot sophomore, and he will go to the line for John Glenn.
Free throws number 3 and 4 coming up for the Little Muskies. And right now, West Muskingum in a total funk.
And Woodard's first free throw good.
West Muskingum only has 2 shots attempts this second or third quarter and 7 turnovers. And it looks like Coach Rinkus is going to sub all 5.
And the second attempt by Bexley Woodard is good. And as you mentioned, there's going to be a mass substitution for the West End side. 32-14 lead. John Glenn leading West End with 3:04 to go in the third quarter. You're listening to Boys High School Basketball on National Icon and watching live on YRP TV. And West Muskingum facing another pressure defense.
And I take that back. West End that may be the second time he's sub 5. He got his first 5 out the first time. Now he's bringing them back in again. So just a little lesson to be taught.
Little Muskie foul called on number 15, Stephon Israel, the 5'9" junior. And West End will inbound the ball. That's Ethan Davis looking to pass in. He does to Ray. And Ray hands off to Andre Crockwell. He's on the left side and looking for a pick. Guarded by Woodard for JG. Drives baseline. Reverse layup is up and good.
And boy, did the Tornadoes need that nice move, nice reverse layup there by Crockwell.
And that's his first 2 points on the evening. 32-16 lead now for John Glenn, and they are back on offense. And that's Bates driving, kicking out to Woodard. Over top to Tough Zimba. He's directing the offense. Dribbles to the free throw line right side, and whistle on the floor.
And I believe Coach Scheck got him another 30-second timeout there. Saw his offense may have been a little bit of trouble. Got him a timeout.
So Coach was looking at facing a tough defense, and I don't know if he was looking at giving the same tough defense, but my goodness, what a second half the John Glenn Little Muskies are having for themselves.
Yeah, they've created, let me get my glasses here, they've created 7 turnovers in this second. Most of them have been forced because they've sped up the Tornadoes going down to the offensive end of the court, and only 1 made basket for West End. And I believe, I have to check my free throws, John Glenn is 3 for 4 from the line now. Mm-hmm. And do you have West End for any free throws made? I got them 0 for 2.
Yeah, that's right.
So no made free throws for West End.
And John Glenn with the inbound, and a quick shot by Nathan Walker is in and out. Rebound West End. And that's Kyle Riley with the ball. Kicks it off over to Patterson, who dishes down into Ray. Turnaround jumper is up, and it is good. 6 points on the evening for Noah Ray. And again, like you said, West End needing to find some points, and they've got a couple more in trail 32-18 now with 2:03 to go in the third quarter.
Looked like a delay of game warning possibly on West Muskingum. I couldn't really see what happened, but the referee went over and made them make a note of it in the official scorebook.
Little Muskies will inbound, and it's Avery Palmer with the ball.
Clears it out, but it looks like West End may come run and jump here, as they do.
Tried to trap, and he's able to get around, pass the ball across over to Woodard, back over to Palmer. And he's playing catch with Woodard, back up top, and then finally over to Walker. And Palmer with a 3-point from the left side is up and good.
John Glenn, 4 of their last 5 from the field. Having a great third quarter.
35-18, 1:27 to go in the third quarter. John Glenn lead. And there's
nice
a nice little
door.
inlet pass in and out. No good for Ethan Davis, but definitely a good look as he was driving. And he was fouled, so we will have 2 more free throw attempts for the Tornadoes.
Both teams do a good job when they are getting dribbled toward. They do a nice, clean backdoor cut. We've seen a lot of that tonight.
First shot up and good for Ethan Davis. That is the 6'2" senior's 3rd point on the night. And some substitutions for John Glenn. Number 13, Chris Toombs comes in for Woodard. Second attempt up and no good. Batted away and knocked out of bounds by West Muskingum. John Glenn will take possession. They lead 35-19 with 1:22 to go in the third quarter. You're listening to boys high school basketball on Nash Icon and watching live on YRP TV. John Glenn with the ball, beating the press. And that is number 3, Blade Barkley, who is driving baseline, dishes off across court over to Nathan Walker, who drives, and he is fouled going in for a layup. He's not fouled. He was
Offensive foul.
charged.
Yeah, the ninth offensive foul tonight for both teams combined. But just give you a little insight here why John Glenn has opened his lead up. That's only their first turnover in the first half. West Muskingum has 7 turnovers here in this third quarter.
So when you can create the turnovers and not do it yourself, you're doing good, right?
Absolutely. If you can score off of half of those opportunities.
Ooh, Ethan Davis for West End with a 3-point attempt is no good, way off the mark, and rebound to John Glenn. And they will get their offense set up, and Blade Barkley kicks off to the right side baseline. That is Braden Young with the ball for the Little Muskies. Kicks it off over to Chris Toombs, who drives baseline, and then his pass attempt over to Blade Barkley is intercepted by West Muskingum, and we are at 30 seconds to go. West End with the ball. Long 3-point attempt by Crockwell is in and out. Rebound to the Little Muskies. A good rebound getting up high is Nathan Walker. And Palmer with the ball for John Glenn. And we are under 20 seconds at 15 to go in the third quarter. Palmer with the ball. He's driving baseline, kicks the ball back out to Barkley, who comes back up center. The ball temporarily knocked away, but controlled by John Glenn. Palmer with the ball again. And 15-footer from the corner is up and good. And we have reached the end of the third quarter on a very impressive display on both sides of the ball for the Little Muskies. And they lead now over West Muskingum 37-19. We have the fourth quarter coming up right after this. We'll step away for 30 seconds and be back for the fourth quarter right after this message.
I'm John. You may know me as a commercial lender, but I'm also a craftsman and a dog dad.
At Park National Bank, we're more than our job titles, and you're more than an account number. You get personal attention and direct access to a caring, compassionate banker who respects and responds to your needs and goals. Find John or a banker near you at parknationalbank.com. Park National Bank, where you mean more. Member FDIC, parknationalbank.com.
Here at MVHC, we offer adult, dental, pediatric, women's, pharmacy, and transportation services, as well as behavioral health. We accept all patients. Make your appointment today if you're not feeling well.
And welcome back to John Glenn High School. You're listening to boys high school basketball on Nash Icon 107.9 in Cambridge, 98.5 in Zanesville. And you're watching live our free live stream on YRP TV, and that can be found on YouTube as well as Facebook. The Little Muskies all over West End tonight, 37-19. They lead as we start the fourth quarter, and West End with the ball. Snively?
19-5 run there in that third quarter for John Glenn really propelled this big lead.
And Crockwell drives the lane, puts up a left-handed layup, and he has his 4 points on the night, and that's something that West End hasn't seen enough of in the third quarter. And Palmer with a drive and kick out. A 3-point attempt by Colin Campbell is no good. And we have a whistle on the floor and turnover.
I think they're going to call it just off the Tornadoes. Going to be John Glenn out under.
So that's Braden Young who will inbound for the Little Muskies. And he does to Palmer over on the left side, who drives baseline, turns the dribble around, back up top to Walker.
If you're John Glenn, you have a 16-point lead. You're in absolutely no hurry.
That's right. And just be patient. Don't rush anything.
Time is on your side here.
Take the good shots, the ones that come easy. Not like that, which Nathan Walker drives the baseline or drives the lane and misses the layup. Palmer kicks out for the three-pointer, no good. West End with the ball, and they are driving. And that is number 14 on Ethan Davis with 2 more of his own. And West End cutting into the lead, 37-23 lead. And John Glenn then turns the ball over. Noah Ray for West End with the ball. He passes off to Davis, who drives right. And
they're going to get Ray with the offensive foul.
A familiar call on the evening. So,
well, if you're West Muskingum there, you've got a little momentum going there. That's the last thing. You want to get shots up in the air, and they didn't even get an opportunity to get a shot up in the air there.
I was going to say, a couple quick scores, and then a turnover and a chance to grab another 2 points, at least 2, and kind of ended by an untimely penalty.
Yes.
Palmer drives the lane and gets him 2. And he's all over. That's 15 points for a young man this evening. He's really come alive and stepped up his game in the second half, hasn't he? Oh, looks like another whistle. That was Pattison who was driving the lane for West End. And a John Glenn foul.
Looks like they're going to get Skylar Bates
on the floor.
It's his second foul tonight. Interesting statistic here, too. Oh, I'm sorry. That John Glenn, that was their 7th team foul, but this will be a 2-shot foul. So after these 2 shots, West End is in the 1-and-1.
First,
no, they call this a 1-and-1.
No good, and almost saved by John Glenn. It was a good hustle from Skylar Bates, but just couldn't quite get to the ball in time. But
my mistake. That was a 1-on-1. I thought he was shooting, so
front end no good. So
that's all right. West End does come back and get the ball back and makes up for it.
Kyle Riley and the West End, they're being very aggressive, driving the lane, and another layup for the Tornadoes, and they are starting to show some signs of life in this fourth quarter.
Playing hard, no quit in the blue.
And nor should there be. And Little Muskie get the offense set up now. Walker at the top, directing his team down. Dribbles off to the right, gives off to Bates. He dishes down into a turnaround for Campbell is no good, knocked away, and West End comes up with the rebound, controlling the ball, and Kyle Riley is bringing the ball down, and then he was fouled. Looks like he was fouled by number 33, Colin Campbell, for the Little Muskies.
If you're West End, this is kind of what you want. You want to try to get points without the clock running. That's how you make up a deficit.
Yeah, like so, no free throw attempts in the first half, and of course you don't want to get into a situation if you're John Glenn where you're going to put West End at the line for a lot of easy 1 point here, 1 point there, and really bite back into. The first attempt for Kyle Riley is up and good. That's his 6th point on the evening.
West End 2 of 6 from the line tonight.
Second shot up, and it is good as well. 8 points on the evening for Kyle Riley. And West End going to pressure John Glenn. Palmer with the ball for the Little Muskies and passes over to Bates. He gets it finally across over to Campbell, who drives, has the ball knocked away. He's looking for someone to pass to. Surrounded by 3 tornadoes. And
John Glenn's going to have to use a timeout. It looked like Skylar Bates may have got hit in the eye or face area. And Coach Scheck had to use a timeout. And Bates is going to head to the locker room.
Looks like he was just walking over to the trash can. He's on his way back.
He either took a finger to the eye, bloody lip, I can't tell, but he seems like he's okay.
Yeah, can't see anything from here. Looks like he might be walking over to the trainer. Might have a bloody lip right there. So. But we are in timeout here at John Glenn High School, and the Little Muskies still lead, although West End fighting back. 39-27 Little Muskie lead over the Tornadoes.
What was a 18-point lead is now down to 12. So not totally out of the equation here for the Tornadoes to come back. Saw a game last night. Mountaineers, the West Virginia Mountaineers, down 19 with 11 minutes in the game, end up winning the game. So anything's possible. Still plenty of time here. 5 minutes and 33 seconds. 12-point lead for the Muskies.
Yeah, and you don't want to panic if you're John Glenn. You just still want to play your game, keep up the defensive pressure, and play the way that got you the lead to begin with, and just don't cave into more pressure and turnovers, and stay away from those fouls.
They found a nice rhythm in their offensive flow in the third quarter. Right now, West Muskingum doing some reaching and some.
And Palmer drives, and he adds 2 more. That's 17 points on the night for him. And so John Glenn will increase the lead, and West End with the ball, and that is number 5, Kyle Riley, who drives the lane and up off the glass, and that's 10 points for Mr. Riley this evening. And John Glenn facing a full court pressure again by West End, and there's a reach-in foul called on number 15, Andre Crockwell, for the Tornadoes. And that is the 6th team foul for West End.
And the official's going to have a word with Crockwell, who did not like the call by the official. The official handled it well, went over, had a nice little talk with him, did not issue him a technical foul.
And another whistle. Referee holding up his hands. I'm not sure, just make sure everybody's set and ready to go. So John Glenn will inbound. Palmer with the ball for the Little Muskies, and he will bring it across mid-court and dish off over to Braden Young, who kicks over to Colin Campbell, and up top to Nathan Walker for a 3-pointer, and it is good.
Walker looked really smooth there at the top of the key, very confident.
Definitely a good flow on the shot, and West End shot blocked. That's Crockwell. Drives a lane and has it partially blocked, and then he is called for the foul as Blade Barkley was looking to pass over to Braden Young, and it looked like Andre Crockwell was going to pick up another foul this evening as he just kind of bumped Barkley. And that is 7 team fouls for West End.
And the lead balloons up to 19. I'm sorry. It's 15 again. I saw this end of the scoreboard, and it looked like it was a 19-point lead. But the angle we're sitting at, we have to look at 2 different scoreboards to see 2 different scores.
Far to your right one and far to your left to the other. We're going to have sore necks for the next week and a half. Barkley's first shot up, no good, too strong off the back of the arm, but rebounded by John Glenn. They keep possession, and Colin Campbell drives the lane, and he's called for the charge.
And the 11th offensive foul tonight.
But good offensive rebound for the Little Muskies, and just, again, another offensive foul called. And West End has 4:23 to go in the game, and they trail 44-29 against John Glenn. And it's Crockwell with the ball down baseline to Porter, who kicks it over to Riley, and he drives to the lane and puts up a shot attempt, no good. Rebound, Palmer, and he's knocked down. Ball goes out of bounds off of Palmer, and West End will get the ball back. 4:09 to go, 44-29 lead for the Little Muskies over West End. West End with the ball, and trying to look for some points and some way to climb back into this. And that is Riley, who drives and puts up a floater. No good. Rebound goes to Barkley for John Glenn. Palmer with the ball, and he tries to get the pass out. It's picked off there. And Crockwell with a 3-point attempt is short, no good. Ball knocked around. Rebound to West End. A 17-footer, no good, and that was Jack Porter who put up the shot from the left side of the court. No good, and another foul on the floor against the Little Muskies. Blade Barkley called for the foul, and that's going to send West End back to the line.
A lot of action going on here. John Glenn doing a very good job of contesting shots on the defensive end.
That's right. Kyle Riley will shoot for West End. First shot up, no good. So the Little Muskies maintaining their 44-29 lead with 3:42 to go left in the game. Second shot up, and it is good. That is 11 points on the night for Kyle Riley.
Nathan Davis, the 5'10 sophomore, checking in for the Tornadoes.
JG inbound with the ball, facing a full court press against the West End. And it's a turnover. There's the idea, and that is Crockwell, who drives the lane, and his layup attempt is no good. Rebound to Palmer. And looks like we have another timeout. And so the West End defense that I kind of anticipated seeing wasn't non-existent in the first half, but they're really showing a lot more pressure, really stepping up their defensive game right now as we close out the game.
And it's more, it seems like it's an urgency thing more than anything. And they're taking chances, they're taking risks. Right now they're gambling, and it's paying off for them. They are creating turnovers. John Glenn with 5 turnovers here. The problem with West End right now, they're struggling making a basket. They've missed their last 6 shots in a row. They haven't particularly shot the three-pointer well, and that's a little on them, but it's a lot on the defense that John Glenn playing. Like I said earlier, they are contesting every shot, and John Glenn right now is controlling the game with their defense. They're in very good position, and they're doing a good job on the boards. But right now, down 14 with under 4 minutes, West End's kind of in a panic mode and playing hard and doing a great job at it, but and they're getting away possibly with some fouls, but you do like the urgency they are playing with.
That's right. It's certainly not over yet. Like you said, you look away on the game last night, and all of a sudden a team down by 19 wins.
Yeah, and this game's not over yet by any means.
And John Glenn is able to beat the press that time. Palmer with the ball for the Little Muskies, brings it back up to the right side. And he dishes off over to Walker, who dribbles left and kicks it out. Barkley, who throws out to Braden Young, back up to Walker.
And you get a feeling John Glenn's not going to take anything but a layup, but they do throw it away there.
Yeah, the pass over to Palmer, who had to make a little acrobatic catch for it and then try to throw it off of West End guy.
6 turnover, and West End really picking up the pressure defensively.
That's right, and it's something that John Glenn doesn't want to get themselves into. They want to calm down and relax, but you definitely don't want to get into an issue where you're doing a lot of turnovers. And that was a really long three-point attempt by Crockwell for West End. Rebound back to the Tornadoes. They maintain possession. We are under 3 minutes to go in the game. And John Glenn with the lead, and the ball knocked away. It was Kyle Riley who was dribbling, had the ball knocked away, and then he basically threw it up in the air, and John Glenn was able to get the ball. Pass down that was intended for Braden Young is knocked away by West Muskingum, so John Glenn will keep it. We are 2:31 to go in the game, 44-30 lead. The Little Muskies over the Tornadoes. You're listening to boys high school basketball on Nash Icon and watching our free live stream on YRP TV on YouTube and on Facebook. And the referee wants new basketball.
And one thing you'd like to see here if you're John Glenn, get your spacing. If you're off on offense, you want to make them be able to guard you the whole half court, and that way you can't get double teamed very easily.
Barkley with the ball inbound and hands off over to Walker, who gives it off to Palmer up top. And Palmer is whistle on the floor. So I was going to say there was a good reach to knock the ball all the way out of Palmer's hand by Kyle Riley for West End, but he's called on the reach.
So it's still 1-on-1 here for the Muskies.
So their 8th team foul. And
I believe that's going to be 9 now. Unless they've changed it that quick, and it's possible.
I think it should be 9, honestly.
But that's my memory. I'm going to have to take my shoes off, start counting here pretty soon.
So Cam is telling us it's 8, and I trust him more than I trust myself.
I do too. Cam was a pretty smart kid back in the day. I assume he still is.
You notice he said back in the day. Palmer's first attempt is up and good for the Little Muskies. And they increase their lead by 15. Second shot up, and it is good as well. And that's 19 points on the night for Mr. Palmer. And West End driving, and a blocking foul, and that was Kyle Riley for West End driving the lane.
And I think they're going to get Barkley on that simply because he may have been a little, there's not a circle there that says it's a charge block circle line, but Barkley was kind of underneath the basket there, and they're going to give that to the offense every time.
That's right. So West End back at the free throw line, and this is Kyle Riley, a 6'3" senior. His first attempt up, no good.
4 of 10 from the line for the blue and gold Tornadoes.
Braden Young will check in, and he'll replace Bexley Woodard for the Little Muskies. And Kyle Riley will have his second attempt. It's up, it's no good. Ball knocked around, controlled finally by the Little Muskies. Braden Young, and
looked like he did.
Double dribbled.
Double dribbled. And give West Muskingum credit. They are not. They're down 16. They forced John Glenn into 7 turnovers in this second half. Playing with passion, down 16. You got to like that.
Woodard back in for Young, and there is a long three-point attempt by Kyle Riley, and it's up and good. And he was about 4 miles away shooting that, Snively.
Yeah, he was deep, and West End had been on a 0 for 7 streak from the field, but they do knock down that 3 to cut it to 13. Coach Rinkus gets the quick timeout, and I think we're just going to see more of the same the rest of the way out. You're going to see full court pressure, and if they are not able to get a steal by half court, you're going to see some fouling, and John Glenn's going to come down the free throws. John Glenn is going to have at least one more possible 1-on-1, but then the rest of the way is going to be 2 shots. So John Glenn going to have to make free throws.
And so far tonight, they've been doing better than what their season average is showing. So
yes.
definitely more comfortable with the line. You know, I know they started off a little rough. I think they missed they played at least
5 of 7. They're 5 of 7 tonight, so way above that season average of 46%.
42% from the free throw line, 46% from the field. So not too bad. John Glenn with the ball, and that was Colin Campbell who tried to pass back to Braden Young. It was knocked away.
And right now, West Muskingum is getting their hands on everything.
And Campbell with the ball again, and gives it off to Braden Young, gets it across, and sets up the offense for the Little Muskies. But crashing in was Nathan Walker, who missed the layup, rebound Muskies, and then finally West End with the ball again, and that was a three-point attempt by Crockwell. Is no good. Rebound to Blade Barkley for John Glenn, and he finds Nathan Walker, and we have a whistle when play stops.
That's going to be John Glenn's last timeout.
It's a full timeout. You are listening to boys high school basketball. John Glenn Little Muskies and West Muskingum Tornadoes on Nash Icon 107.9 in Cambridge, 98.5 in Zanesville. And watching live, a free live stream on YRP TV. Catch that on YouTube and Facebook. Want to thank our sponsors for tonight. Without them, we could not have a good game like this. And John Glenn doing really good on both sides for the better part, and West End really picking up the defensive pace, but they still trail the Little Muskies 46-33, and we're nearing the end of the game, under 2 minutes now at this point, Snyder.
Yeah, and West End struggling right now. Their shooting percentage is probably below 30%. But you got to give some credit to the John Glenn defense. They've really been in the faces of the West End shooters, taken away the dribble drive, and forced deeper three-pointers, and West End's not been able to come up with those big shots, and sometimes they go in, sometimes they don't, but right now the John Glenn defense probably is the story in this game.
That's right. Very impressed with both teams, actually, you know, on this still a young season because of, well, there was a thought right there, Colin Campbell, who just throws the ball off of the West End defender, Jacob Allen, and when he gets trapped over there and still deep in his own territory.
And you don't want to catch it there, but sometimes that's all you got. You got 5 seconds to get it in.
And Palmer with the ball for the Little Muskies, and he kicks it back over center court to Nathan Walker, who gets it across, and that's over to Braden Young, and he's trapped again and called for the charge.
Yeah, and he dipped his shoulder a little bit, and official made the right call on the 12th offensive foul of the night. John Glenn, 8 turnovers. Coach Scheck not going to be happy with that. 8 turnovers in this fourth quarter. This is where you need to take care of the ball.
And West End definitely forcing them into uncomfortable situations. John Glenn just not responding well at this point. And West End driving and moving quickly was Kyle Riley, who puts up a shot, no good. West End with the rebound, and a three-point attempt by Andre Crockwell as an air ball goes out of bounds, and that ball goes over to John Glenn with 1 minute, 16 seconds left to go in the game. The Little Muskies lead 46-33 over West End. And we have a...
Looks like number 35, Gage Newsom's going to check in, the 5'10 sophomore.
And JG will inbound. That's Braden Young who takes the ball down the court for the Little Muskies. Barkley back inside to Walker.
The spacing's really good now by John Glenn, and this is kind of where they want to be.
Oh, that's got to be a foul right there. So, yeah, Kyle Riley for West End on a pushing foul.
And this will be the, we think, double bonus, so 2 shots here. I've been wrong all night on these fouls, on the foul situation. So
1-1, Cam's telling us.
Yeah, see, I'm 1 ahead of myself, and I don't know why that is.
So for the Little Muskies, Braden Young will go to the line.
Braden Young at the line, shooting 1-1.
Shooting 1-1, so the scoreboard is right for us. And Young's first attempt is up and good. And that is Braden Young, the 5'11" senior. That's his 5th point on the night. And he'll get the back end of the 1-1. And we're looking at another substitution. Woodard will check back in for Colin Campbell.
Looks like Skylar Bates waiting for the shooter, Braden Young. If he makes his shot, he will check in for Braden Young, Skylar Bates.
And Young's second shot attempt up, and it is good as well. So 6 points on the evening, and you're right, Bates comes in, checks in for Braden Young. And the Muskies extended lead 48-33 with 1:05 to go. And a nice pass in, Kyle Riley gets for West End, puts up a shot, no good. Rebound, John Glenn. And foul from West End, and JG will go back to the line. And, as was talking with Coach Scheck earlier today, he was really wanting to see some improvement at the free throw line, and I think he's going to be pleased. Maybe not pleased with the fouls, maybe not pleased with the turnovers, but certainly has to be pleased with the free throws.
7-9. I think he's going to like his team shooting percentage as well. They've only shot it 38 times, but they've made just about half. So you're going to see a big discrepancy in shooting percentages for both teams.
And Nathan Walker's first shot is up and good. That is a 6'2" sophomore. Nathan Walker, that's his 7th point on the evening, and his second shot from the free throw line is up and short. No good. Rebound, West End. We are under 1 minute to go. 49-33, JG over West End. And driving the lane is Jack Porter for West Muskingum, and pretty familiar call this evening, Snively.
Yeah, and we saw that one coming. Full head of steam there. Was it Kyle Riley?
Yes. No, it was
Luke Patterson.
Jack Porter.
Oh, Porter, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Well, Jack Porter had a full head of steam coming from half court, and the John Glenn defender planted there, I believe it was Barkley, and got the offensive foul.
And there's a turnover, but looks like maybe a foul called first.
Yeah, they're going to call a foul. Looks like on number 2, Luke Patterson.
I heard the whistle, and I thought maybe they was going to get Palmer with a walk, but foul committed first. And so Avery Palmer, a 5'9" junior for the Little Muskies, will go to the line shooting 2. We are 47 seconds left in the game. Little Muskies 49-33 over West End. Palmer's first attempt is up and a little short, no good.
And I want to blame the last free throw misses on you, Tracy, because you explained how well they had been shooting free throws.
Second attempt up and good. So who do we get to credit that one?
I think I'll take the credit back for that one. Anytime there's good fortune for either team, I will gladly take the credit.
I'm okay with that. 45 seconds left to go in the game. West End with the ball. And good things happen for Mr. Snively right now. And so that was Landon Walter who was driving baseline for the Tornadoes, and the whistle on the floor before the shot, looks like, and Jacob Allen will go to the line for the Tornadoes. Allen is a 5'8" sophomore for the Tornadoes, and that foul called on Avery Palmer for John Glenn. First shot up for Mr. Allen is up and good, and that's his first score of the evening.
You know, at no point during this game was I disappointed. I like the way both teams played. If you're a fan of basketball, you know, you like watching both of these teams play. They played hard. They played clean, but they played hard.
That's right. It was Jacob Allen's second shot was up and good for West End, and John Glenn with the ball and really struggling right now, but keeping everything alive and finally getting across before the 10-second call. And it's a nice little layup in and out. That was 15 Stephon Israel, who was driving the lane. Outlet pass there for West End is picked off by Bates.
And I believe John Glenn, they're just going to dribble it out. Unless, maybe.
West End's kind of a little slapping at the ball, but that is going to do it. A 50-35 victory for the Little Muskies over the West Muskingum Tornadoes. And what we kind of figured was going to be a low-scoring contest and a defensive struggle for both teams. And it just looks like that the Little Muskies able to prevail. Their defensive strategy a little bit better executed against West End. And they come away with a victory tonight. That's their second victory of this young season for them, albeit with a lot of new faces and young faces for the Little Muskies.
Yeah, John Glenn shot it well in the third quarter, and West End really struggled in the third quarter shooting the ball and turning the ball over. And that was the big key to the game. A 19-5 run in that third quarter opened up an 18-point lead, and John Glenn never looked back, although, you know, West Muskingum came back, made a little bit of a run at it, never gave up, showed some perseverance in trying to get back in. It just couldn't because John Glenn was a little too good on the defensive end tonight, and they did a nice job making some free throws tonight.
That's right. We are going to step away and work on some final stats. We'll come back with those and finish off here at John Glenn High School. So we will check back in with you in just a couple minutes.
I was sitting in my car and it wouldn't start. I lifted the hood and the engine was falling apart. What would I do? My eyes filled with tears. Then on the radio I heard of West 40 by Pay here, where for a little money down and a little each week, I could have a car, nice, shiny, and sleek. So I walked in the door and I put the money down. Now I got a nice car that I can drive around. West 40 by Pay here will help rebuild your credit. The corner of Dewey and Route 40 in Cambridge, don't you forget it.
West 40 Auto Sales, corner of Route 40 and Dewey Avenue in Cambridge, is home of the guaranteed credit approval, with most loans approved while you wait. Go to their website to fill out an online loan application, west40autosales.com. You'll also find their weekly special listed there.
How can you select from insurance companies offering you lizards or ducks? When it comes to protection for your home and auto, you want a company that provides quality insurance products and personalized, fair, friendly claims service. WB Green Insurance represents Westfield Insurance. Their reputation is based on sharing knowledge and building trust. Westfield has been around the neighborhood over 150 years. WB Green Insurance welcomes the opportunity to quote your home, car, and business insurance. Don't be fooled by lizards and ducks. Call 439-1329.
Chronic issues do not disappear just because COVID is here. Whether you are experiencing pain in your knee, tingling in your fingers, or a sore back, Superior Med Orthopedics is here for you. Superior Med Orthopedics patients' health and safety is their top priority, and they currently offer telehealth visits for your initial appointment. Take comfort in knowing when you come to Superior Med Orthopedics facility, they are following all protocols to ensure you remain safe. Find out all their team offers by visiting seormc.org today.
Your 401k is likely one of your most important assets, but it's only one part of a comprehensive retirement strategy. Edward Jones can help you understand how your retirement assets fit into your entire retirement picture so you can work toward meeting your unique retirement goals. Contact me, Teresa Cowden, your Edward Jones financial advisor on Main Street in New Concord. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, member SIPC.
I'm not buying till I check on Ford.
Most of us are faced with uncertainty every day. Your job, your finances, sporting events, schooling for your children, and so much more. With so much uncertainty surrounding you, there's one auto dealership that you can be certain about, and that's Doan Ford. You can be certain that you'll always get a great deal and the best service afterwards. In business for nearly 60 years has given Doan Ford the reputation of being a strong, reliable dealership. Be certain. Choose Doan Ford. Online at DoanFord.com. You're listening to high school basketball on 107.9, 98.5 Nash Icon, WILE Cambridge.
Here at MVHC, we offer adult, dental, pediatric, women's, pharmacy, and transportation services, as well as behavioral health. We accept all patients. Make your appointment today if you're not feeling well.
And welcome back to New Concord, Ohio. John Glenn High School. We have finished up a good one here at the high school. John Glenn victorious over the visiting West Muskingum Tornadoes 50-35. And a game that we expected to see some good defense from both sides. And it did not disappoint. It was a fast-paced game, a cleanly played game for the most part. And part of the longer we got into toward the end of the game, the better it seemed to get. And I know we got a lot of statistics to cover, so if you don't mind, I'll go over some of the individual scoring first, since that's the easy part.
Have at it. Age before beauty. I think it's age before beauty. We're close.
Yeah, probably close enough anyway. So starting first with the visiting West Muskingum Tornadoes, they are led on the evening tonight by number 5, Kyle Riley. He finishes with 14 points, and behind him with 6 more points is Noah Ray. And then they had 5 points added on by Ethan Davis, and then a couple guys for the Tornadoes with 4 each. That's Luke Pattison and also Andre Crockwell, both adding 4. And then number 30 is Jacob Allen. He added 2 toward the end of the game. So West Muskingum, kind of a balanced scoring attack, albeit not a whole lot of points put up tonight, with 35 total points for the Tornadoes. On the other side of the ball, the Little Muskies were led, and the game's leading scorer tonight, Avery Palmer, with 20 points on the night. And then next to him with 7 points was Nathan Walker. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed one. Sorry, number 20, Skylar Bates, had 9 points, and then Walker added 7. I'm just trying to go, biggest to little. A couple guys from the Little Muskies both adding 6 points apiece, and that is Braden Young as well as Colin Campbell, both with 6. And then toward the end of the game, number 44, Bexley Woodard, he added 2 more. So pretty balanced scoring attack again from John Glenn, pretty much right on season average. They expected to hold an offensive opponent under 60 points. They bettered that. They expected to do better from the free throw line. They certainly did that, and they scored more points than the other guys, and so they come away with the win.
I'm going to give you 2 key, possibly 3 key statistics that told the story of the game. First here is the team shooting. John Glenn was 24 of 39 from the field. They shot 62% from the field. You're not going to lose too many basketball games shooting 62%. Conversely, West Muskingum was 14 of 44, only 32%. So the John Glenn defense did an exceptional job holding West Muskingum to half of their season average. West Muskingum was averaging 60 points per game, came away with 35 tonight. So when you shoot 62% and you hold a team to half of their average, you're probably going to win the basketball game. In the rebounding department, it was pretty even. John Glenn, 28, and West Muskingum, 26. Turnovers, there were plenty. 19 for John Glenn, 17 for West Muskingum. Neither coach is going to like that. 13 of those 37 turnovers were offensive foul calls. And from the line, John Glenn, as you mentioned earlier, did a much better job from the line tonight. They were 9 of 13 from the line. West Muskingum on the other side struggled a little bit, below 50%, 6 of 13. But when you, like I said earlier, John Glenn shoots 62% and holds West Muskingum to half of their point total average for the season. So they came in averaging about 60 points per game and struggled and only scored 35 tonight. But a fun game to watch. Two well-coached teams. They played hard. It was clean. It was just a fun game to watch, and I'm glad we got to do this one tonight, Tracy. And I look forward to seeing some better things come ahead for these teams who are battling through this crazy season. And just a fine job by the Muskies coming out here tonight and pulling out the victory.
Absolutely. It was an exciting game from opening tip until the last buzzer, and we appreciate all of you watching and listening, and want to thank Mr. Mike Snively for hanging out here with me tonight and keeping me honest and keeping me on track.
You're doing a fantastic job, Tracy. Love doing games with you.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the next one that we get a chance to work on. Also would like to take this opportunity to thank all of our sponsors, without whom we would not be able to bring the game to you. I would like to thank Jeff Reed back at the station for board opping and engineering the game from the station there this evening, and also thank Cam and Caitlin Summers for all the work they've done here, bringing the game to you on YRP TV. Most importantly, thank you for watching. Thank you also for listening to our presentation of boys high school basketball on Nash Icon, and as well as on YRP TV on YouTube and Facebook. We hope you all enjoyed the game. And for Mike Snively, for Jeff Reed, Cam and Caitlin Summers, I'm Tracy Lingefelder. And we are going to cut away here, where once again the John Glenn Little Muskies are victorious over the West Muskingum Tornadoes, 50-35. Have a great evening, everyone.
High school basketball. Tonight's game is brought to you by Southeastern Med, Doan Ford, WB Green Insurance, Muskingum Valley Health Centers, West 40 Auto Sales, Edward Jones, Teresa Cowden, and Park National Bank. This has been a presentation of ABC Communications.